What's up, my Jeeping people? 76 degrees, mid-late September. Beautiful, awesome day outside right now. Last winter, I kept having a certain part of the anatomy of my Jeep that's getting a little bit flaky. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Luckily, it never really left me in a bad spot, so to speak. But throughout the summer, sometime or another, it died completely. Now, this certain part of the anatomy really doesn't matter right now because, you know, my Jeep doesn't have air and don't even want air conditioning. If I want air conditioning, pop the top. So, but coming wintertime, need to defrost my windows, need to keep it a little warm and cozy. If y'all getting the hint of the video for the day, my blower motor died sometime throughout the summer. So, new blower motor, and while I've got all that crap out of there, we're putting a heater core in also. Ready? Let's do this. Okay, the first thing you want to do is we're going to need to get some antifreeze out of here. Okay, come down under the Jeep, right here on the bottom of your radiator. Loosen that up, drain it out into a bucket. These old washing powder buckets come in pretty handy. So, crack that thing right there loose and drain your radiator down. Okay, while we got the antifreeze draining, I promise you, you want to do that first because it takes a while for that stuff to drain down. Take your radiator cap, pop it loose so it doesn't form a vacuum inside the system, allows it to drain faster. And I'm going to take my little toolbox tube out of the way, and then we need to remove the battery. Then we're going to work on removing the battery tray. So I'm going to get this and the battery out of the way, and I'll be right back with you. Just in case, you know, you guys seen my little toolbox tube I had right there. I'll show you what it is. See, just PCV pipe with an end cap and a clean out cap right here. Stuff all my tools into it, strap it under my hood. I keep plenty of tools with me, and they're out of the way and secure because I've also got a hood lock. I'll put a link in the description down below where you guys can check out those two videos. So now let's get the battery pulled. Now that we got the battery out of the way, we're going to get the battery tray moved. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts, and they are a 1/2 inch size wrench, so or socket, whatever you decide to use. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get them out of there. Now I forgot to mention, there you may have a bolt right here, but obviously that was missing. Then you're going to have to take this one out. But this ain't so rusty and crusty, I don't think it's coming out too easily. So you got 2 bolts right here, right in behind your fuse block here. 2 bolts right there, and it's not exactly the easiest thing in the world, but at that point, now you can take and manipulate this thing out like this. Just pull it up and out. These clear the bolts, and you'll come on out. You can sit off to the side over here and not have to disconnect any kind of wiring or anything. Okay, now that we got the battery tray off, I got a little bit ahead of myself, and I want to show you guys where your bolts are you got to take out. Here's your back end of your blower motor. Here's where the bottom of your battery tray went in. You got a bolt here, and here's where your heater hoses go into the firewall, going into your heater core, which is right here. Bolt there. There's your ground bolt right there. You got a bolt there. And you don't see it right here because the blanking thing twisted in two, but below your blower motor, fender support brace here, there's a bolt, or supposed to be one right there. I just twisted it in two, so that kind of sucked. Now the fourth one, here's your valve cover. It's kind of hiding from you. Here's your map sensor right here behind this little rubber thingy right here. Is plastic that holds your wire loom back out of the way. I gotta move that. But there is a nut behind that right here. That's got to come out also. If you pull, sometimes you pull them just right there. Come off. Like that one. So right there's the other nut. So you got to take that one off too. Okay, next we're going to take out the heater hoses. And I guess part of the reason why I didn't take the heater hose off first is simply because whenever I take the clamps loose, pull the hoses, I want to lose a little bit of water coming out, or a little bit of antifreeze, whatever. And by doing that last after taking all the bolts and stuff off the firewall, I guess less tendency of me having to play in the slimy antifreeze. So get you a big pair of channel locks and squeeze those clamps, move those clamps back, and pull those hoses off. Okay, the heater hoses were a bit on the cranky side, so I just took a razor blade, split them, pulled them off. I'll put new hoses on it. Notice we got that good old green antifreeze inside here. Now here's what's going to happen. When we pull that box out from underneath the dash, it's going to dump its antifreeze all in the floorboard. There's not really much way of getting out of it. So a trick that I normally do whenever I change heater cores in cars is that I'll take the water hose, your garden water hose, put it into the bottom right here, turn it on low, turn on the pressure low. It'll force water through this, and you wait till that clear water comes out the top. So what happens at that point, if you're going to get anything inside the floorboard of your vehicle, it's just going to be, water. It's not going to be that slimy antifreeze. So I'm going to push a little bit of water through here. It's going to come out the top. Okay, now we're going to take this one more step further. You can see that got good clear water coming out of there where I put the water hose right here. It slowly turned the water on. It filled the heater core up with clear water and pushed out all the antifreeze up top. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take my air line, go in here and kind of just wrap my hand around like that and slowly turn the air on. It's going to blow out some of the water, but it won't blow out all of it. And the only thing that's going to do is really minimize how much water is going to be dumped in your floorboard whenever you bring the heater box system out. Now, like I said, it's not going to blow all of it out of there, but it will actually help a lot. So anyway, it just minimizes the mess that you're going to have to deal with when you pull the box out. So air pressure right there. I want to turn this on. I turn this on. I cut my hand around like this. I can't do that and hold the camera both, but it'll blow the water out here. And like I said, it just minimizes your mess. Now all your heater box stuff is about ready to come out at this point. I mean, if I was physically ready to come out. You see? I can shake it, but now we got to disconnect our wiring harness and stuff here. Then we got a resistor up here, way up here. Go unplug that. And then you got your cables here on the side that controls your flapper valves and all that jazz. Then you got another one back here. There's another one way up under. Looks like I'm going to have to I want to take my gauges out to make a little room for that airbox to come down, maybe. My CB took that dump on me, so I'm going to go ahead and take it out anyway. So anyway, the airbox is about ready to come back out. So I'm going to go ahead, just for the sake of saving myself some headache, take my CB out of the way. And I only use my factory water temp gauge now works, so I'm going to go ahead and take all the shaker out too while I'm at it. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, here's your little flapper valves and stuff like with this move. See, I'm moving this arm here, and it moves that right there, which adjusts your vent and your defrost and all that type of stuff. These little things right here, put one on a clean finger here, go on the end of those, which allows that cable to stay put. Now over the years, these things right here get rusty, brittle, and such. As with this one, I tried to take it off. Apparently I put too much protein in my oatmeal this morning, and there we go, snapped that sucker right in half. So you can get these at like your help section at your O'Reilly's, AutoZone, or your Better Parts stores and stuff. So if you break one, not the end of the world, but you just basically get your pliers. Let's make a demo here. You'll grab hold of it, get the camera up here, hold it like this right here, and you'll just kind of really lightly just grip it just enough that it turns it, but rotate it back and forth, and they'll slide right in that shaft if they don't break. And this one over here, I want to get it out of there once I get the box dropped. So I'm gonna slide this. This cable should slide off the end of that shaft now. Let's see, this cable right here is messed up. I gotta figure out what's going on with that, because it's not moving anything. So I don't know if it's come off the controls here or what the deal is. I gotta check that out. Then pull this one off. Anyway, you got the idea. It's kind of hard to do that with one hand, so I'm gonna pull that one off real quick. Okay, now I've got these unplugged. Got that unplugged from the resistor. And what I've been doing, the box is not too far ready to drop out now. Get your hand underneath here and keep pulling. You pull out this way and shake it as you pull it out this way. Kind of pick up on it a little bit. It kind of works those bolts loose from inside the firewall. well, you obviously, you know, I'm just kind of showing you how to do it. But oh, one thing too, I don't know if I can show you or not. Right here is where your defrost system hooks into. You gotta look at that too. And this little tab here, you simply pull it out this way. It's right here, pull it this way, and then unlock the defrost vents from that. Now way up in there, oh crap, I can see it. Here we go. This is where your fresh air comes in, down from that cowl that you have up on your hood, from that right there. Your fresh air comes down through all that and down into here. So anyway, so there's the explanation of that. I'm going to set the camera down, so I'm going to snatch this baby out of here so we see what's going on under here. Okay, there it is. She's hanging out of the dash. As you can see, you don't have to pull the dash. You don't have to like lay the windshield forward and take all this crap apart. So it's not really that bad. Just be patient with it. You can see the hole right there. That's where your blower motor is going through. Just keep tugging in, twisting and pulling until it pulls through that. And right there, this hole here is where your heater core tubes are going through. So just be patient with it. Just keep working with it, and they'll pull right out of there. So now we got to get our cables disconnected, and it's by these little tabs right here. And you got to get that one disconnected. And can't get to the inside of that one, so we got to take that one off anyway. So now I'm going to get my cables disconnected so I can get this thing on pulled on out. Okay, here's the air box hanging out here, but why I have not got pulled completely out? Because the cable that was attached to that end down there is being really a bear, popping loose from the case. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take his back plate off right here and get down on the inside so if I can release that cable from my side. So I really don't want to break that cable, because then I've got no way of actuating the valve, the flapper that goes right here. I'll break that tab. So I'm about to take this back plate off right here, just so I can get to that cable back there, and I'll show you guys what it's like once I get inside of it. Okay, once you get all those gazillion screws taken out, around that perimeter here, it takes a 1/4 inch nut driver, ratchet, socket, whatever. Here and here is a 5/16. Now you're not just going to grab it, pull up on it, and expect it to separate and come off. Take your screwdriver, flat screwdriver, get underneath that lip right there. Let's go around it and twist. You'll see it start to separate, and just slowly work your way off there. Ah, forgot one. So yeah, just work your way around it and break it loose. So after I take that one out, yes. Okay, it's all separated. And the whole reason for this thing is just to change out the heater core. I mean the blower motor. But there it is, back side of it, front side of it. Okay, one thing for sure, I know it's going to be said in the comments, why am I not doing the Chevrolet mod? Chevrolet mod, there is a certain number, part number, a blower motor here that you can get, because it's got a bigger diameter back here, that actually spins faster at faster RPMs, which therefore puts out more air and of course better heat. Well, for one, I just wasn't froggy enough to do that at the moment. And if this ain't gonna put out enough heat that I'm satisfied with it, you know what? I'll show you guys how to do the mod. But for right now, I'm just gonna do it at bone stock. I've got a factory replacement I'm putting in. So, like I said, if I don't like the air output on this, I'll show you guys how to do the Chevrolet mod. And basically what it boils down to, and I don't know the part number right off. If you guys want to, like, down in the comments, put the part number to the Chevrolet blower motor that does this swap, feel free. I want to say it's a PM102 on a Simmons number, but I wouldn't swear to that. Anyway, basically what the conversion boils down to, the squirrel cage here, you take it, put it on the Chevrolet, and the Chevrolet, like I said, is bigger diameter here. So what you have to do is that hole here, you got to make that hole bigger to accommodate that Chevrolet blower motor coming through that. And so it's supposed to put out a lot more air. You know, like I said, if I'm not happy with the air this one's putting out, I'll pull it back out and put that Chevrolet mod motor in. But until then, I ain't gonna worry about it. Now, like I said, that was why I pulled it out. for the blower motor. Come to find out, look at my heater core. Look right here. Got a little bit of discoloration. Looks like it's slightly leaking. And I wondered every now and then, it's like I smelled antifreeze. So it's a good thing I'm changing that out, huh? Cause you can see the discoloration where we had a leak somewhere through there. So it looks like it was a good thing. I went ahead and thought, hey, since I'm doing a blower motor, changing the heater core. Now that cable I mentioned a moment ago, see this flapper right here? Right there. There's a little orange tab button thing right there. You gotta get a pair of needle nose pliers inside there. Squeeze those together and that cable will come out of there. See, that I didn't want to keep pulling and tugging on that because that cable that attached there controls this flapper here. So I didn't want to break it. So needle nose pliers, get inside there and separate that out. Okay, let's see if we can give an explanation what happens with the valve, the flapper valves and stuff. Right here's where your blower motor sits. The squirrel cage piece, this right here, the hamster wheel, sits right inside here. Okay, from here is where your fresh air box comes from, up in your dash. From there, from your cowl, feeds down here, provides the air to come through for the blower motor to pull the air through. Okay, and then I'll try to position this thing where I can move the flappers. Alright, air comes through here, gets pushed this way. This flapper here, in the current position it is in now, it'll come through here, air comes up through here, and blows down. Well, where it's got the heater core covered, you're not going to have hot air coming through. It's just be nothing but fresh air coming from the outside blowing through, like your vents and such. And they'll blow down this way. Now, if we direct this valve this way, then what you got is going to come through here. Air come through here like this, come up through your defroster vents. Now, okay, it's cold outside. You flip the heat on, boom. This valve, this flapper comes like this. Stay, dang it. There. Air gets pushed through here, it pushes through the heater core, comes through here, it comes up. Now that's your defroster. You're getting hot air get blown up on your glass right there. And plus, you can, depending on how you direct it, it can be going towards your vents and such. Then you flip this way, directs the air down to the floor, and you get your hot air coming down to your feet. Pretty simple setup, actually. And there's more going on up inside the dash up here where the fresh air vents. Let's see if I can get this up in here, because it comes in right there. That's where all your air comes in from the dash. And well, without getting a lot of other junk out of the way, I can't lose that. Tube goes up to your defrosting. Okay, now here's our new heater core. What you want to do is, kind of set them on top of each other. Look, okay, they're about the right size, and your water tubes are hitting about right. One thing you will notice though with your replacement heater cores, this thing weighs nothing. It is like super light because it's all aluminum. Your old heater core, more copper than anything, and not to mention it's probably got a lot of crap built up inside of it from years and years of flowing water through that cruddy block and everything else. But you'll definitely notice a good weight difference. But I mean, that is what it is. You can't get copper ones anymore that I know of. So you just want to make sure it's the right size. This one looks good, and it came with, where did it go? There's your little gasket material here that you see here. So that was good to go. So now I'm going to check the get the blower motor pulled off, and we'll check it. Alright, first thing we need to do by taking this motor off is gotta get that out of there. 5/16 socket. You're gonna have to hold the little hamster wheel, hold that thing to break it loose and take that nut off, and then your little hamster wheel should pull off the shaft. Okay, once you get your little hamster wheel pulled off here, then we're gonna take off They're both around the perimeter of the motor. They're 5/16 also. Okay, one thing I noticed immediately, the difference. See how this motor protrudes out? This one does not. This one has a longer shaft. This one does not. But what you do is, in this shaft, and here's the mating surfaces to where it joins to the back of this. You put that shaft here on that mating surface, this on this mating surface, and you look at the two mating surfaces, the two plates, mounting plates, are parallel with each other, which means the end shaft depth is still the same. And one thing also want to be careful of, whenever you pull the little blower piece off here, whenever you pull that off, there's a little clip thingy right here. And what that does, it goes back on the shaft like this, and there's right there, if you see the little tabs that stick up on the back side of the little blower here, you see that little square? What that does, it helps reinforce. Get on there, darn it. Anyway, you slide down on that shaft right there to the square, locks into the back side of that square, and it helps it prevent it from turning, but also sets a depth on it and doesn't allow it to go down deeper onto the shaft no more than it's supposed to. But you also got the flat areas here, here, and here that are also inside the little hamster wheel. So that's going to prevent it from turning. This right here also prevents it from turning, but also sets the depth on how far it goes on the shaft. So don't lose that right there. So what we're going to do, get these flat areas lined up on this. It slides down like that. Get the new nut. Screw that down. You'd know it'd be a different socket. Yeah, I bet you this is gonna be a different size shaft on that. Now look at that. We'll do this instead. Why? Because I'm lazy. Original nut. Screw that back down there. Then we'll use our 5/16 socket. And just snug it. I mean, see how I've got my fingers? That's all you want. Any tighter than that, you risk busting the little hamster wheel. So that's all you got to do with that. Now we're going to put them back. Okay, one other thing I noticed is that the new replacement one does not have the factory plug on the end of it. Not a big deal. I'm going to cut the wire here, splice it onto this, put heat shrink over top of it. That way it's good and sealed. So it's easy fix because you got orange to orange, black to black. Pretty simple fix. Okay, well, you see I've got the heater core set up. It's got my little foam pad around it already. Blower motor's together, so actually the air box is ready to go back together. But I'm not going to do that just yet, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my water hose where I've got all that dust inside the air box over here. All that dust inside the air box. I'm going to take my water hose and wash it off real good and wipe it down. Just try to make it halfway clean before I put it back together. So I'm going to clean her up. See you in a bit. Alright, I took a water hose, just kind of washed all the dirt and grime off of it. I ain't getting kind of detailing with it. And one thing that will save yourself a lot of headache, see all this caulking stuff around it? Get that crap off there. See, I'm going to put it all in this box right here. Get all that off there and just use like black RTV to go around it. Because why? Good question. Here's your fresh air tube. See how it comes through right here? This is what's coming from on top of your cowl, that place right behind your hood. So you think about it, it rains, you got a lot of moisture come through. If it comes down through here, if you get any moisture come through, it comes through this slot here. See the slot? It comes through that slot. Got this whole plate right here, this is where your blower motor comes through here. This is a drain tube here that's going out through your firewall. Now here's the deal. If you don't get all the grime and crap right here off there and reseal it, any kind of water moisture you got coming down through here will come through here and come out through here and right into your floorboard. So just to save yourself a little bit of headache of chasing down where the crap is that leak coming from, because we all know Jeeps leak. This is one time to where you've got all this right here apart, you can eliminate one place while you got it apart to help prevent a leak. Okay, just to clarify something I mentioned about putting RTV around this, I'm not going to go all the way around this thing with it. You see right here, I use the blue just as a marker showing this is the span I'm going to go to. Simply because if I was to get water, coming out through here, it's going to puddle up right through here anyway. And it'll leak out right here. Odds are it's not going to go all the way out that way anyway. Only time the water's going to get that deep, you got a problem to begin with. So, I'm just going to, right through there, that's all it would puddle up from right here across, be it. Alright, heater core, put it back in place. When you pull it out, if you notice, you got the little pocket down here. Here, tubes look toward the back. And if you really pay attention, this foam padding right here, you really don't have to wrap it all around like I did, because you just stop it like that where the factory did, but I just got carried away and, well, there you go. I wrapped it that far. But it really doesn't affect anything. That sits in like that because your flapper here, your diverter air thingy goes up and down right here to divert the air through or around the heater core. Then I'm going to put my RTV through here, then I'm going to set this on here. And put all the little 1/4 inch screws all the way around it, and then your 5/16, which will screw it to the heater core and hold it in place. Alright people, I was about to put the heater core back in there like I just showed you. I thought, you know what, I want to check my hole alignment. And I'm kind of glad I did, because check this out. Okay, here's where your heater core comes up through here like this. Alright, now here's my top hole here. Top hole's there. Where the crap's the bottom hole? Nowhere in the ballpark. So what I did was I found where it would, right there, and got the top one lined up. Then I took me a screw and scribed me a circle like this. Okay, got that lined up. Got this best lined up as I can possibly get it. And it'll still be metal there. Now I took the screw, went around that right there and scratched the aluminum on the heater core to show me where the hole's hitting at. And what I found, here's where the hole is from the factory. There, this little, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, is a little circle here is where this hole is hitting. So manufacturing tolerances suck obviously at this place. So okay, now I've kind of got a quandary here. Okay, let's be honest. One screw here and forget that one, will be fine. It's not gonna hurt a thing. Is that my first choice of what I would probably do? No. But my other choice is I could drill a heater core here to align with that hole. But here's what my risk. If I'm not perfectly just all plants alignment, the grass is the right color green, and I slip with a drill bit, I'm not gonna hole in the tank and I just destroyed the heater core. Or my other choice would be find my proper alignment here, coming from the back side, and figure out how to mark the hole here, and then just drill me a new hole in this plate right here. But like I said, to be totally honest about the whole situation, this heater core is going to be sandwiched right inside this pocket right here. One screw holding up top here, and this whole plate, like I said, is sandwiched with here and here and holding it all together. Heater core's not going to move. The heater core's not under any pressure. It's not going to do anything wrong. So, call me lazy, call me whatever, but I'm not going to get another heater core because, like I said, if their manufacturing tolerances suck that bad, odds are if you get another heater core, it's going to be the same scenario. One screw in right there is going to hold it in place well enough. And so I'm not going to sweat it. I can put that one screw in up top and I'm putting this heater core in like it is. So let's do that. Okay, heater core slid in. I got my RTV sealant through here. Then what we're going to do, we're going to take this and set over top of that to line the heater core up there. Now at this point, some of you may be thinking, hey, you ain't put the blower motor back in. Well, I showed you guys a moment ago to take off that hamster wheel off first. You don't have to do that, you really don't. You can take it off last, and if you had just changed the blower motor, you could pull this straight out the front, straight out like this right here and not hurt a thing. Okay, let's put 1 1/4 inch ones in because you want to get this plate lined up. Don't tighten it. We're just lining the plate right now. And so now what we got to do, there's that, remember that flapper valve that's inside here? We got to get that baby lined up with its location. Right there. See, it just came through that hole right there. So now this side will fall in place. Get this one lined up. Again, the screws are not tight. Get this one started. And see, it's a 5/16. Let's see. Go ahead and get this one started for the fun of it. Now notice we haven't done anything on that end because we still got that little air diverter valve, the flapper valve down here too, so we don't put any screws down there yet. Okay, not tight. Now, right here is our 5/16. So, change our ratchets out here. We'll put that in there. And get that started. And once going a little wobbly job, I doubt it very seriously it's happening, but yeah, right there where I put those scratch marks, I can see where I put the scratch marks in that down there. So yeah, this isn't going to line up at all down there. But again, this will be absolutely fine. And don't get crazy on tightening because you just want it snug, because that aluminum will be very easy to strip out. So at that point, like I said, it's not moving, pretty solid. Now, see, we get down here, figure out where our pivot is going to go in here. So, there's that. And put the rest of your 1/4 inches in. And remember, you got your little gasket piece goes right here, which is okay, yeah. It stretches over top of that, which prevents air leaks like from around the firewall coming in around the box. So at this point, put all the rest of the screws back in.